So when the elevator goes up, we want this to join. Parent actor is ourselves. We also want to keep world over on the rules, like so. Maybe we're ready to test this, actually. It's not ready to move or anything, but maybe we're ready to test it. I'm just going to move it like this. So, if when I play, nothing actually happens. Let's see what's happening over here. Now click the elevator. Oh, we haven't actually said anything. That's embarrassing. Click the button, my static mesh button. I'm going to set floor height to be, I'm going to do 300 on this. I'm going to say we have 5 floors. Let's just actually see if this is enough. So now you can see that the buttons are actually showing up at the floors. Can't actually go in and check though. So it's also, before we continue, let's go into our first person character. I'm just going to set up a very simple interact function. You know, the line trace. And I would recommend you join, because this is how we're going to be, well, interacting. Get the world location. Get the world rotation. Get the forward vector. Multiply that. I'm going to do 350 on this one. Oh, that's way too much. I'm going to add these two together. Line trace by channel. Like so. This is our end. This is our start. I'm going to do persistent debug. And then we're going to do a branch on the return, because we don't want this to fire if we're not hitting anything. Break open the out hit. Get our hit component. Check if the component has tag. Now, there are most, like, I'm 100% sure that you could get these two to work together, so you don't have to have separate ones. I don't have separate ones. I have, no, I have separate ones, I mean. So I'm not going to worry too much. This is our elevator button tag. So do we have our elevator button tag? Awesome. If we do, we're going to get the owner. And then the owner is going to be our Cas2 BP control panel for us. Then we're going to get our components again. Get component tags. Get a copy at number 1, because the first one is our tag, remember. Our elevator button tag. The second one is the floor that it's at. We want to do a toString. We want to do a toInteger. There we go. And now we want to get our elevator ref. And we want to call a function that we haven't made yet. So, yeah, we haven't made it. Let's go to our BP elevator. Inside here, we're going to make a custom function. It's going to be our goToFloor event. Our goToFloor event will have an input. It's going to be an integer. It's going to be called floor. I'm going to promote this to a variable. It's going to be my floor to ref. I'm not going to have it there. I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to add a branch. This branch goes into that false. And then make it a new variable, which is a boolean. It's going to be currently active. Are we currently, you know, is it currently moving? Now, we're actually, before we forget, we're going to go back here now to our first person character. And now we can drag out from our elevator ref. We can now go to floor event. And the floor is that one. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for the other button. This is what I mean, that you could probably get this to work in one. I just, I'm sick and I don't want to, basically. So we're going to do a branch. Component has tag, same as before. However, this tag is the elevator call button, I believe we called it. Let's go and double check that. Our call button. Elevator call button. There we go. If it has that, we're going to do the same thing as I said before. So we're going to get the owner. However, this time we're going to cast to elevator call button, because that is the owner of this component. Then we're going to get our elevator ref. I'm going to copy this top here, get it into the components. Go to floor event, and it is the exact same thing as previously. Right. Now, before we forget, let's go into our event graph. I'm going to do keyboard E for this, and then I'm going to pass in my interact. Just make sure that that actually works, and it does. I'm also going to set up a very fast HUD. So I'm going to make a new folder here, interface. This is only so I have a crosshair that I can actually use. Go in here like that. I need a canvas for that, don't I? Wrap that with a canvas. Size that to content. Move it in the middle. Add a plus. Font, I'm going to do 16, and then I'm going to do light. Oh, that is horrible. That's not light. That is still not light. What am I doing? There we go. That's light. Now we have ourselves a little crosshair. No, we don't actually, because I'm a dumbass. We need to create widget. And we need to create our HUD. And we need to add that to the viewport. Now we have ourselves a little crosshair. So I can actually see what I'm doing. Let us also go into our interact for a second. And I'm going to do a print over on... Actually, I don't know which one it is. So we're going to try this one first. This one then. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so they are working. So the go to floor event, let's start working with that. Setting our floor 2 ref over here. Checking if we're currently active, if we're not. Then we want to check if our floor 2 ref. Actually, do we have a... we need to add another... Yeah. What floor we at, basically. Could be an integer. We're checking if the floor 2 ref is equal to the what floor we at. If that is true, then I'm actually going to add a print over here. I'm going to append. And I'm going to say already at floor. I'm going to add a space opening doors. Don't have to do this. It's just something I wanted to do. Already at. So if we're already there, this is going to fire. And then we also want to make a function for this later. Not going to do it currently. If it's false, we're going to set it to currently active. I'm going to copy my print. I'm going to print going to floor. Closing the doors. Right? If I do a start, already at floor, opening doors, it says. Let us make the opening and the closing of the doors function. Actually, do we need to comment this? Yeah, we can do that.
We check if the floor we're going to is the one we're currently at or not.
Very simple commenting, I know. Okay, let's make the new function. So a new custom function. It's going to be called a open, close, elevator door. It's going to have an input of a boolean. It's going to be open question mark. We are going to add timeline. It's going to be my open, close, elevator, door, timeline. I'm going to open that up right away, set the length to 1, add a float track. I'm going to call it my open, close, elevator, door, float track. Tedious to type, I know. Adding 2 points, 0, 0, and 1, 1. Same as always. Here you can right click and do auto if you want it to be like this. Might look good for the doors. They don't open like, you know, instantaneously like that. Once this is done, we can get our open close timeline. Set the play rate of that. I'm actually going to right click, promote this to a variable. I'm going to call it my elevator door open speed. Elevator door speed. Yeah, because it's going to be open and closing. I'm going to disconnect that, right click, do a division, plug this into the bottom, set the first one to 1 because that's our length of our timeline, or the speed of our timeline, and I'm going to default this to 1 as well, so it just starts there. Also going to set this to editable and expose to spawn so that you can change it however you want it to be. Now we're going into the branch. If open is true, then we want to play from start. If it's false, we want to reverse from end. And we are going to lerp our way on the alpha. I'm going to do, well, let's see how this looks. Yeah, so it's 1.1. If I go all the way to 0.1, that's going to look like that. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So I said 1.1, right? And then 0.1. Then I'm just going to get a arbitrary door here, and I'm going to get relative scale 3D. I'm going to break that. I'm going to get my door 1, set relative scale 3D. On the update, expand this, or split it open, sorry, also get my door number 2 before I forget, plug it into the same one. The X and the Z goes into that. The alpha on our lerp, or the lerp, sorry, the return order on our lerp goes into the Y. And that is it for our open close elevator door.
Handles elevator store. I got a mistake. Sets the play rate to 1 divided by our value, because the timeline is 1 in length. If you had 5 in length, you'd do 5 divided by.
Probably. I don't know. Most likely, right? Sounds about right. Going to floor, let's look at this one. So now we can call our open close elevator door. And this one is going to be closing. And then this one is going to be opening. So let's give this a shot. If we're already at the same floor, this one is going to open. And there we go. Now we can also see that we have some issues with our buttons over here. Well, actually, I don't know what's happening there yet. We're not talking about that. Actually, let's talk about that. What is happening, actually? Going to floor 4. Okay, well, that's clearly not working. Let's add some offsets. So I'm going to do 100 on the vertical. Let's see how that looks. Oh, that is the wrong vertical, isn't it? I'm going to do 0 on that. And then we can go down to the control panel button offset. Yes. Are we missing something here? Honestly, we might be. Control panel button offset. Where are you? Let us see. I don't think I wanted depth. I think that's why we don't have it. Okay, so let's add a 10 on our max horizontal. Then on our offset, I'm going to do 6. And then 6 and 6. Alright, play. And that is our buttons. Now we have some issues with our text, as I said before, and also the offset of the depth. So we might actually want that. Although, I do believe our... No, that's our call button. Oh, there we go. If I now do a -21, looked like it... is that actually firing? 509. Let's see if it's actually firing. Oh, that is not firing at all. Okay, we'll get back to that in a minute. Let us work on our elevator still. So now we got our open close elevator door here. We are gonna basically get our timeline. And then we're gonna get our play rate. And then we're gonna add a delay to that, because you don't want the elevator to go before it's actually closed. And then we're going into a branch of checking if the floor 2 ref is greater than the floor that we are at. Oh, there we go. We're going to make a couple custom events. So one is going to be our elevator up. And the other one is going to be elevator, custom event, sorry, elevator down. If it's greater, then we're going elevator up. Otherwise, elevator down. We're going to add a new timeline, which is going to be going up, down timeline. Same as before, length of 1. Add a float track. Going up, down timeline, float track. From 0 to 1. So 0, 0. Ah, what happened? Oh, there we go. 1, 1. Again, here you can change it to look a bit smoother if you want. I'm going to leave this one as linear. You're going to get your going up down timeline, and you want to set the play rate. We're going to make a new that's the door speed. Do we have a that's the door speed, yeah. Okay, let's add a new variable. It's going to be our elevator speed. It's going to be a float, editable and exposed on spawn. I'm going to default that to 1. Gonna divide, same as before, so 1 divided by our variable. So 1 divided by our variable. And then we're also not going to plug it in there. We're going to divide it again by the floor 2 ref. Like so. That is going to be our new play rate. Also going to get actor location. I'm going to split that, promote the Z value to our start Z. And then we can just go into play from start. Over on our elevator down, the only thing that we're going to do different, so we're going to copy this down here, the play rate. We're going to do 1 divided by our variable. However, now we're going to unplug this and do what floor we at. So this one. And we're going to subtract the floor 2. Then we're going to do an integer to float. And then we're going to plug that in. Once that is done, we can go into our set up there. On the update, we're going to set actor location. Not that one. This one. On update. I'm going to make some room because it's going to be, well, it's not going to be that horrible, but yeah. I'm going to get actor location. I'm going to split that. I'm going to make vector. Just so we, do things a little bit different sometimes. Make the vector of that. And I'm going to get my float track. I'm going to lerp. This is the alpha still. The one I want to lerp from is the start. And the one I want to lerp to is going to be our floor 2 ref multiplied by our floor height. So do we have that yet? Yeah, we do. I want to truncate this before I plug it in. Sometimes it can bug out. And then I'm going to do a to float again so it doesn't bug out. And that is our B. So it's going to lerp from our start to our end, to our goal basically. This one goes into our Z value up here. And that is technically it for that. Now over on the finished, I want to get my, actually I want to just yoink this. I want to set the start Z to the new location. I want to set what floor we at to the floor 2 ref, updating where we are. I want to call my open close elevator door. I'm going to call it to open. I'm going to add a delay of the door timeline. Where are you? There we go. I'm going to add this delay. And once that delay is done, we can set our currently active to be false. Right? Should technically be it, shouldn't it? Let's see. If I now go up to already at 0, yeah, so that's because we are at that floor already. And there we go. That's our elevator. I wonder if we have added this calling function yet. Yes, we have. So it's going to close its doors and it's going to go down to the location that you want it to be at. Honestly, I think that's it. You have all the customization you want over here in the right side. However, the buttons, what you could do about the buttons, well, let me see what we could do about the buttons. Why are we using the call button, depth offset? We need the control panel. And this is where we're missing the variable that I said before. We're just going to duplicate this one. Control panel depth offset. Wait, did we already have that? Oh, control panel depth offset. We have it. It's in the wrong spot. Wait, what am I doing? Okay, well, looks like we already have it. It's just in the wrong category, I guess, or something. Control panel depth offset. We'll do 10. Actually, let's do 100 so we can make sure that it's actually working. Oh, yeah, that's working. Okay, so now let's do -21. I think that's what I wanted to do before. That's way too much. -15. So as you can see, you can basically just tweak this however you want it to be. That is the beauty of my well, this elevator, at least. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Now I'm also gonna go into the control panel and basically the text render component. So let us start fucking around with that a little bit. We do need to, I'm just gonna do this manually. You can do this however you want it to be. I'm gonna do a plus on the X. So the X is our depth, I believe. I'm gonna do X plus maybe 4. Okay, let's do a big number so we can actually see it working. Maybe it's coming out the back actually. Ah, it's there. Okay, so let's move it up a little bit. That would be our Z value. Up like 10 maybe. That's okay for me. That is okay for me. What you want to do though is you want to, so you can basically change it however you want, right? As I said. So I'm going to change this control panel up maybe 50. Now let us do a little test. So our max horizontal, so currently we have only 5 floors. That is why 5 buttons. Our max horizontals are at 10. So if I now do 3, that's going to do, well, lines of 3. Like so. And if I do, for example, this is very expandable. So if I do now 5, let's do 1,000 stories. And let us do the max horizontal. Let's do it like 20. This might lag a little bit on the start, but as you can see, it has started it all. And we have our buttons. Now, as you may see, it doesn't really expand to that level. But it does work. Let me just eject out of this, and yeah, we see a little bit of our, our stories here. If I now play, all of these are working, of course. Now it's going to story 519 or something, it said. It's going to be making its way up there. Let's go and see if we can see any buttons. Yeah, so here's the buttons. So yeah, that is basically it for our system. It is very expandable. You can do however you want it to be. You can change the meshes however you want them to be. I'm just, well, I just made the system, that's all. So you do with it whatever you want it to do with it, but it is fully functioning, and hopefully you enjoy the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and yeah, leave a comment saying that I'm awesome, because you know, that always makes people feel better. And join the Discord if you want. Fuck it, I'm too sick for this. Okay, I'm just gonna head off, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.